Good evening, I think. Hello, everyone. It has been a while since I've done this. I was waiting on my co-host who just got here 4 minutes late. And so I'm going to make him wait like I had to wait for him um, while he's backstage looking like he's slapping some fish or something. So there's that. Look at that. Trevor, hello, sir. Good to see you. We got Trupox. It's like I feel like it's Tupac, but more. But I don't know the extent of that number. Scott is here. Bubba, sir. I have not been called that since the incident, but we can talk about that offline. Oh, and Richard's Vinyl Tap House is here. You know, Richard, I was going to extend an invite to you, but I also figured you might be streamed out since that feels like it's like a full-time retirement gig for you. So, all right, let's welcome on the other guy because we have a lot to discuss tonight, man. There's a lot going on, and gosh, you know, we'll get into this, but we got new McCartney coming out. We got Beach Boys getting all types of reissues. You know, what year is it? You know, it's 2026, and we have nothing better to talk about music-wise than Paul McCartney and Beach Boys. And I can't think of somebody that is more qualified to talk about such expansive artistic mediocrity and overblowment than this next guy, because he knows all about mediocrity and overblowment, whatever that means. Welcome to the stage. We're going dark beer, eh? What you got there, buddy?
That's a Guinness head. If you don't recognize that, then who are you?
You know, I mean, it's just a classic, man. You like the Guinness, don't you?
I do like Guinness, but you know, if I run off camera, you know why. Anyway, hey Scott.
Hey, Scott's here.
It's funny. I said Bubba tonight. I was referring to somebody else, and I said Bubba.
I just don't really. I just don't know how to feel about it. Like, there's part of me that, especially coming from Scott, that it's like a compliment, you know.
Yeah.
And then the other part of me is like, Bubba is what they refer to as like the big guys in jail that you're trying not to have a run-in with a spatula, you know, like.
And they're played by John Goodman. Yeah.
Ooh, that's one interpret. Old John Goodman, though, he's lost a lot of weight.
Roseanne Goodman. Yeah.
And I guess, because I saw somebody online get really upset about it, so you know it's true. That is not Ozempic weight. Like, he completely like changed his everything about his life years ago, and it has been like a consistent grind.
But to his detriment, it makes him look 30 years older.
Right, you know what I mean? Opposed to Ozempic, that makes you look, 30 years younger. But
look like Kelly Osbourne. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. How's she doing? Single though, Sam, apparently.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Well, all right. Well, you're doing your little beer review. I was going to do something special with this beer over here for you and the crowd if you're into that sort of thing, eh?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's all you got. Okay.
No, I mean, I thought you were going to go through some more comments, but
well, okay. I get. No, I mean, it's just people saying hi back and forth and all that type of stuff. Now. Guinness is, I mean, that to you though is like, if you don't know if you didn't know what else to get and you're just at a place, it's like, give me a Miller Lite or give me a Guinness. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's out of the domestics, as it were. That's the one for me. But again, we're kind of in that year, and we were talking about this off camera. We're in late March now. Guinness is kind of going to the back of the fridge, and
that's right.
You're pulling up the crappy, grill on the Barbie beers. So your Millers, your PBRs, it's your IPAs. Yeah. It's getting to that point.
We're getting there, man. Which, I mean, those are great too. But
look at Trevor. That's a book.
Yeah.
There's a few jokes.
Everybody says to watch that Prison Break show. I tried. A little cheesy for me.
Well, there's no Goodman.
Hey, we're actually we have you to thank here, buddy, because after you announced that you didn't have a show tonight, I was like, you know what? Sam and I could probably pull 3 of those viewers.
You're one of them, Chance.
Oh, actually, I didn't even include him, so probably 4. He's got like an average watch of about 160 or so, I think, and so we could pull 3 of the. Oh, just lost one. Then we're
Sorry,
good.
Mom.
Sorry, Mom. Mike is here. Mike Kovaleski. We can circle back to this and get your thoughts on it and the whole thing in general, because you're gonna have a lot more than what I have to say. But
show us.
Oh, sorry. We'll get to you in a second. The hockey. You don't pretend that you don't know about heated rivalry, Scott. All right, hold on. Let me do this. So here we go. I could make myself big, but it's not really my thing. Okay. Why get big when you can just stay big? So I'm drinking trash because whatever. It's like I do my craft beer reviews sort of thing, and then like for a night like this, I'm like, this give me the trash.
That can looks frosty.
So yeah, I mean this is fresh. So these are 16 ounces tall boys of the Ultra, right? Now, do you remember when so you want to prove it? Prove it? Okay.
Howdy.
All right. 16 ounces. Now, you remember I did a video recently where I was drinking out of like a Stein?
Yeah.
Well, what I had in there at the beginning of the video, that was one whole beer. So I was like, how many ounces of beer could I actually fit in the Stein? So we're going to see if I can fit 3 of these tall boys.
Big Stein.
Big Stein for a big man. That's right.
No,
so this is obviously what the people came here to see.
It was funny when that video that you did, the something with the camera with the mug of the Stein, it looked like Mountain Dew. I was like, that man is drinking a lot of Mountain Dew.
Oh, like through the light or something?
Yeah. It's like or that's the sample I give my doctor. I mean, it kind of looks like the same thing.
Well, that's 116 ounce.
Can I be the one to say, welcome back streaming for tonight to Beer and Vinyl? This is
a while. I was checking. 8 months ago was my last stream.
That's like almost a pregnant woman. So there were children possibly conceived on that last stream that are now
they're now premature. All right. Well, it turns out I thought I was going to be able to fit a lot more, but I guess this is 32 ounces fully in here, which, up to that point. So,
right.
This is what we're drinking. Sir, cheers to you. You just take a drink. Have another one. Cheers, everybody out there. I do have monetization turned on, okay, because I got to make them sense. However, Sam, here's what I was thinking, right? When you monetize, because you'll learn this when you get monetized, because I know you're just tunnel vision. They ask you if you want lots of ads or very little ads.
Yeah.
But of course, it's like, well, I don't want people to see ads, But then if you say no or very little, then they're like, this will affect revenue. But here's the whole point, right? Is even if like 30 people watch this for an hour and a half, it's like $1. But if someone just super chats, I can just turn the ads off, How about that? I'll double dip. I'll be like, oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm just kidding. This does look like Mountain Dew a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. I know about that. I had 2 of them today.
Oh, man. Those couple of Diet Mountain Dews I had when you left here last time.
Some of those Doritos. That's a Friday night. Yeah. Well, Trevor, see, we've got to make that cash money so that you can watch us for 5 minutes and turn it off. That's what it's all about.
We're close. We are close. Like, man. I don't drink like I used to. I really don't.
It's true.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I was going to say, let's get into the business here.
Well, I will start by, first, because it is Beer and Vinyl, let me just do a quick look here at my mug or my glass. This was purchased from my uncle. This is a bar that I've never been to in Virginia Beach called the Lucy Sky Bar. So it's a rooftop bar that has all sorts of Beatles stuff. And my uncle's like, hey, I found this cool cup. I'm like, give it to me. So there you go.
Man. That's really sick, dude. So the other thing.
Awesome cup, bro.
Yeah, well, all right. So this is the old what everybody wants to discuss right now in the VC is this record. These are two original, Sam. One's an original mono, one's an original stereo. But for the people out there, these original masters, well, just forget about the stereo, or as what Capitol called it, duophonic.
That's right.
But apparently, according to that works. The professionals, these original masters just suck. They're terrible. And so what do? You gotta do a twofer in 72. Now we're getting ahead of ourselves, but you have ordered the vinyl file, correct?
Correct.
So, but this is where everybody's talking about now. You got the vinyl file,
mm-hmm.
And for the people out there, we've talked about this. I say offline, but it's all online because it's over Instagram, so it's whatever. We've talked about a lot of the we're not really audiophiles, right? Like we do not have systems or setups or to get into the nitty gritty. But also, that doesn't mean that we don't care about sound. That doesn't mean that we don't want good sounding copies. That doesn't mean that we don't see value in what we purchase, right? We joked before about the what was it? The RSD Essentials pet sounds that you bought. That
well, yeah. Let me you
yeah.
I'll pull my copies because you've
already
you got yours.
Yeah. So, Sam's got a whole bunch of different copies over there, but the whole idea was like going into like the whole value thing, right? And I'll kind of bury the lead here. Pet Sounds is Sam's favorite record of all time, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, that plays a role. Like, what value do you place on these types of things? So interesting though, they pretty much announced, I guess, the vinyl file and the one step kind of at the same-ish time. You were actually the first one on YouTube, none of these test pressers, none of these promo guys, none of these shills, as they say. No, one Americana Sam was the first to bring the news.
Joe the plumber, if you will.
Dude, he was from Toledo. That is a throwback, man.
Yeah. We miss him. Anyway.
Simpler times. Anyway, so there's a lot going on here. How have you approached the Pet Sounds news? It is your favorite record of all time. Tell us more, sir.
Well, it was the weird thing, and yeah, I think everybody in the chat, it's the 60th anniversary this year. Like my copies, I've got the RSD Essential, which is stereo, and then I have the 50th anniversary mono, as some say, from 2016. So when it was announced, it was weird, and I think you probably saw it too. It was announced about a day early for subscribers to the newsletter, which just means you give the Beach Boys your email and you get the email a day early. And it had all the stuff that was going to be sold on the Beach Boys site, which was the Zoetrope, the vinyl file, and then they're putting out some like highlights of the Pet Sounds box set that came out in '97 for it was like the 30th and a year late anniversary. But what they didn't have was this one step that people are talking about, and the Beach Boys site isn't selling that. The Brian Wilson site isn't selling that. That's only being sold through Capitol Music Group. And so when I did my video of like, my hype announcement, I didn't see that until after the video was up for a good bit. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing, oh, is this something different? And I was texting with, you guys, I was texting with Tommy, I was texting with all these different people that love this album, and putting all these heads together. It's like, oh, we're getting this one step with this different mastering on it, which we can get into later. I'm just kind of giving a basic overview. So now, we've got the vinyl file, which has become like the new, audiophile high fidelity series that people are loving. And we've also got this one step. So I can leave it right there for the time being, because there's a few weeds, but yeah, I don't know if that answers your
yeah, no, and I think that's kind of the what we're getting at. And so and again, we are not I keep saying we're not audiophiles, and I don't mean that derogatorily. I think sometimes it's like when people are like, I'm not an audiophile, it's like
We just don't have the money.
Part of me is like, I kind of wish I was.
Yeah.
But I say it more as a preference, a preface, not to our opinion, but I think our perspective in terms of what we are probably able to most comfortably and confidently talk about, right? So like one of these big things is is the tapes thing, right? And so people for the longest time said that the absolute best sounding copy that you can get of Pet Sounds was in 1972 on the Brother label, which was like their sort of label, still as a part of Reprise, I think, or something, right? But and it was the twofer with Carl and the Passions, right? So it was like what Carl and the Passions solo record, and then the second part of that was like Pet Sounds, and one of those random like, well, we're probably popular again. Let's pump out. Let's throw this in there. But people will say that is the definitive best sounding audio fidelity version. You don't have the twofer, right?
No, and it's funny. One of the sites, I think we both follow it on Instagram. That's one of these record stores that sells globally. They actually put one up yesterday that I was looking at. It was like $36. But I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that right now because if I'm going to put money toward anything, it's going to be this one step.
Yeah,
I don't own it. No.
Okay, well, and that's and we aren't ones to do like shootouts or comparison videos or ABs or all those different things. Now, and so I guess the next step is that they are saying that was the source for the one step that they're doing, and is the source for Vinyl File the original mono tapes from
66 tapes, yeah, and different engineers. So Bellman is doing the one step.
Bellman's doing the one step, right?
Yeah. So you've got the Vinyl File, which is kind of what they've been doing now. They've been putting out some 2-disc. Like I know they did some bonus cuts with the Frampton Comes Alive that came out fairly recently. They've got a Marvin Gaye coming out later. But so it's a 2-disc, so you're paying a little bit more for it, but they're giving you the stereo and the mono. And the stereo is just like the 1997 stereo that I think they've just kind of cleaned up a little bit, but because there was never like an original stereo. Like it was mono. Brian Wilson was deaf in one ear, so everything that he did was mono. And it was pretty contagious.
Do you think, and this is more, I mean, obviously it's all discussion stuff, but so them doing that as a double LP is interesting, right? Because like we've seen the model before. I think they did this with a lot of jazz releases. Might have been Blue Train or a handful, I think, of the big Coltrane records reissues. They did a mono and a stereo. It was like a double LP Tone Poet with a mono and a stereo. Same record.
Atlantic did it with My Favorite Things.
That's right. Yep. That's you are. Yeah. And so I think it's a cool model for people like you and I. We're probably like, whatever, we would have just taken a single for half. But then, so my question is, do you like this model of mono and then like kind of like bastardized stereo? Or would you say, look, if you're going to give me 2 LPs, like just make that second LP just bonus shit that's out there?
Yeah.
Which I know it's, kind of what they're doing on the side with the other kind of stuff. But do you care at all about these 2 different mixes? Or the other question is like, does that just kind of play into like man, this was psychedelic and you can't hear psychedelic the right way unless it's panning from both sides?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I was a big fan of the, to use the Monkees, for example, for their audiophile stuff. They were with Run Out Grooves, which was kind of like a subsidiary of Rhino. And they would do the original album, and then the second disc would be bonus cuts. A lot of times, first time on vinyl, they were released on CD sets or whatever. But then they kind of moved away from that when they put out the Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorns, and Jones record for Hi-Fi. It was the first Hi-Fi audiophile they did under that title. But I really liked the 2-disc with the bonus cuts. I don't really care about the stereo thing because, again, for me, I always originally listened to Pet Sounds. Like when I first had it, it was on one of those CDs that had stereo and mono, and just one went right into the other. So you finished the album and then it started over again in the other format. So for me, it was just like whatever one was first on that CD was the one I listened to. But yeah, the two disc with like the stereo and the mono. I mean, it's kind of cool, but again, it's not a real stereo. I can see it for the Coltrane thing, because I think those were both original tapes. But yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, it adds another $18 or $19 to the record, which is frustrating.
It just doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, why? Well, we know why. There is an answer, but I'm talking about more of like what do you say? What are you communicating? Of like, why would you just do it in mono? Like, just do a single. Because what the regular vinyl files, did those go for 40? Like the regular single LPs?
I think so, because they're gatefolds.
Okay, and so what's this one, like 55 or 60?
Yeah, I think it ended up being it was like 54, and then after taxes and everything. Because the good thing is I ordered through UDiscover, $50 free shipping. Yeah. So it was like 57 after tax.
Yeah.
So it's expensive, but again, it's 2 records, gatefold. All the fun bells and whistles that you want.
And I mean, you have some of the vinyl files, right?
I have Northern Lights, Southern Cross, by the band, and then Nat King Cole, the Christmas song.
Right. I mean, I've heard that they've been doing a bang up job, but they're great.
I heard the Velvet Undergrounds are great. And yeah, the Jellyfish, like Tim is saying, that one has gotten a lot of praise. I know you're, dying to slap that.
I do die to slap my jellyfish. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. It's like SpongeBob rave, like.
You're like Kevin, the cucumber.
Tim, I got the reissue from a couple of years ago, which everybody kind of shits on that. I do have and oh boy, is that it? I don't want to. Sorry. I had the reissue of Spilt Milk from a couple of years ago. I might have to re-listen to it to get to a place where it's like, this is terrible. This is unlistenable. This is, I listened to it a handful of times when I got it, and I thought again it was fine. But again, I'm not one of those individuals. But man, everybody talking about how good this vinyl file sounds, and I'll never get an original. I mean, that's a $600 record. Like, it's just. And so part of me is like, man, I love that album a lot. Do I want the best sounding version of it? Now, there's part of me that actually it being cut at 45 is interesting. I know people are like, I typically hate double 45 records. We've talked about this. And the fact it's a 3-sided double 45 certainly makes that more manageable. You're packing on probably an additional track at least per side. And secondly, and I would have to double check, it was also a 90s record that was moving in CD era. So a lot of those early 90s records were jammed on these single LPs anyway. Like, old Todd Rundgren albums that are 65 minutes in length and sound awful, right?
On one side. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, there is like, I think it's Initiation. Initiation might be like a 35-minute track, like on one side. It's...
Yeah, he crammed them on there, which is funny because he was such a perfectionist.
Right.
I can't imagine Jeff Lynne putting, like 12 songs on one side.
Right. Yeah. I don't think so either. So yeah. So you're okay. You have the vinyl file on order. I know you're kind of going back and forth. You got some stuff coming up. You can't be throwing all this money out there, all that type of stuff. But there is part of you. Are you waiting? I don't know that records sell out anymore in 2026. I think people are overproducing things, but I say that I don't have any reason to believe that. Are you still on the fence? Are you maybe hoping for your birthday?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of put feelers out. My birthday is in a month and a half. And so I put some feelers out, but I'm also like, they've only pressed 6,000 and they're sure to say, once it's gone, it's gone. So I think
one steps.
Yeah, that said 6,000. Yeah. And then they said, once it's gone, it's gone. That's a one-time press.
I mean, that feels like a lot. But I lost track of to me, I think, I mean, in one sense you hear 6,000, there's not a lot of people buying $100 records anymore.
Yeah, no extra tracks or anything on it.
Right. And again, we've talked about this personally a lot of times, right? Of like that 6,000 people, like everybody we represent the minority of people who listen to records.
Yeah.
And so even people who love that album a lot probably have one of the 7 reissues that came out over the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? But hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. Are you waiting and seeing?
Well, I was telling my wife tonight, I was like, I think I'm gonna go to one of my other shops here that I never go to. I just don't. They're a shop that, you know, they'll post online if they get, you know, decent stuff, but I can't stand how it's curated in there. It's just one of those like very like you walk in and it's like, wow, there's so many cardboard boxes like stacked, and I'm like, where's the records kind of thing. And it's hot in there, which, you know, so those
Dude,
records are.
You know, I sweat profusely anyway. Me at a hot record store, dude, like it's uncomfortable, you know.
Well, I'll say to go off script for a second, because I mean it's public. You've mentioned it once that you're doing some work at a local shop. Do you have access to that thermostat, or is it like, you know, like the mean dad in the corner being like, "Don't touch that, boy"?
I have access to it, yeah. But what we've been talking about, there's no way to properly set a thermostat right now. Like, what do you set it at? You know what I mean? Because I turned on my AC about an hour ago because it was 77 in my apartment.
No,
sir,
unlivable,
unbearable. Like, I would yeet myself out of this apartment before sitting in that.
You and the cat.
No, I'd be like, he probably loves it, dude. You know, but at the same time, I'm just like, man. So, yeah, like, but that's the thing. How do you set a thermostat on this? So it's been the same kind of at the shop where I'm like, I'll go in and I'm cold, and I leave, I'm hot. But
the door's opening all day.
The door's open, you know, that sort of thing. So, but yeah, I do have access to it as long as I adjust it properly when I leave. So,
all that to say, I'm sure people enjoyed learning those little personal tidbits. And for being somebody that's slept on your chaise, I know about that thermostat in that apartment.
That's right.
But so what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna look through my collection, maybe even tonight. Try to find. I think that there are a couple of albums, and I know people are going to say in the comments, and we've talked about this too, that can be a whole other conversation. And again, this doesn't have to be a full Pet Sounds conversation, but the issue is, do I need these even just with the vinyl file that I'm getting? Because supposedly that's going to be the top grade cut. This is just the digital cut. It's only an essential because it's on like this, you know, green wax.
Yeah.
This would be the only thing. It would be like, oh, this is the 2016 mono remaster, you know, A/B it before I sell it. So it's kind of like, you know, on Discogs, this is listed median as like a $42 record now.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, if I can just throw that in with a couple other records, like I've got a couple of duplicates that I'm like, they probably get some money. Then maybe put that toward the one step.
What part of the SAM is, especially when it comes to, again, I keep talking about your favorite record of all time.
Yeah.
That you really lean into the not the practical listener, even record guy, but just as a collector, right? Yeah. Because to me, it's like, you first of all, sir, don't you have a Brian Wilson Funko Pop?
I have a full Beach. Wait a minute.
Oh, that makes it, sir. The fact that you got you have a My Glove Funko Pop.
My Glove. That's right. I got the Pet Sounds crew.
See, this is problematic.
Yeah,
but it's not problematic. But okay, but like, I'll ask you a simple, basic question: why do you have that?
Because it's my favorite album.
It's your favorite album of all time, and you're a collector in the sense of like music shit that has to do with your favorite album of all time is cool.
Yeah.
So where do you draw the line of like, I got the whole Beach Boys fam, except, you know, I don't see the Wrecking Crew on there.
Or Bruce Johnstone.
Oh, yeah. He's the one focusing on his solo career right now.
He's going to
go back to the Doobie Brothers, you know?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Tom Johnston.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Dumb.
So where my question is like, where do you draw the line of Funko Pop to 5 copies of the same record because it's your favorite?
It's a hard line because I'm like, like I was going on Discogs just the other day and I was like, what are these sitting right now? And I'm like, the collector in me is like, well, that's kind of cool because, it's different copies of Pet Sounds. And then I'm also like, well, I've got the vinyl file coming. So that would be a third. And if I got the one step, that would be a fourth. I've obviously got the CD. And then at some point I'll get the session highlights. I probably won't get it right now, but because that's gonna be widely produced, even if it's just a black vinyl. And that's like another $45. So yeah, I don't know.
No. I don't think so. I don't think so, sir.
Yeah, hit that. Knock that out.
Well, I don't know who it is, so I don't. Maybe it's just a fan, but probably not.
His government name's right there. But no, I mean, that's the hard thing. Is I'm like, what records do I end up knocking out?
No, see, it's like I knew. Again, not everybody is evil, but
right.
But unfortunately, Shane, no, because this is just one of those like private. And we don't really invite people up that we don't know. Like that's kind of just there are times for that where it's like an open mic night. Essentially, it's just like, come on up and make a joke, But I don't know if I know you like that, and we just don't know. And we've gotten burned before. Oh, let me tell you. And
depends on what you define as burned, but yeah,
I'd say so. Yeah. Feel free to drop a super chat.
Oh man. Yeah. Hey. No. Yeah. We saw you, Edward.
No, I know. We got you, Edward. No, we got you, man. We're saying hi to you.
We know you, Edward.
That's fine. No.
All right.
Ohio represent though. That's great. Yeah.
That's right. Hey. Yeah.
Well, all right. Hey, I appreciate that. Shane, feel free to reach out. If I just got to know you. If I know you, then it'd be cool. I just have no idea who you are. So, right, Mike? Okay. Anyway, so you don't know if you're getting the final file. Is that immediate ship? Did that ship already?
No, it doesn't come out till the 15th of May.
Look at that. Right on cue.
Hey,
Steve Westman.
Cheers, Steve.
Well, Steve, if you were here about 5 minutes ago, you would have gotten the full answer. But Sam's going to tell you again because I know that's what you're here for.
No, I've already ordered the vinyl file. It's kind of sitting like on like I've got it like a tab open with the order. For that day that I decide to press press send on the one step. I know you had your stream the other night. I think I mentioned a couple of times toward the end, Steve, that I was like, yeah, I can't. I'm not going to do the one step right now. But I was just telling Alex that I'm thinking tomorrow to go to one of my local shops. Maybe they'll give me cash for a few records. It's one of the shops I haven't tried to sell to. And if I can get that for this, then I'll put it toward it. But here's the thing, Alex. And here's the thing. I would probably still go with the vinyl file too. Like I'd probably keep them both.
Right, you get both. Yeah,
because it's different masters.
Right.
So you get the original mono, and then and then the 72 brother master. No, you go ahead.
Oh well, no. So it's a one step, and it's not a MoFi. I mean, one steps refers to the process, not necessarily a brand. So, who'd you say it was? It's what the Capitol Music Group or whatever is
Capitol Music. It's their official Capitol record site. Yeah,
right. But I don't know if they've done all of them, but the whole one step thing, a ton of people are doing. I mean, they were doing Linkin Park one steps. They were doing.
Yeah.
I think they did Prince. Right. It wasn't Purple Rain like a one step. Like they're.
Yeah.
this is becoming
I mean, REM just had one with Murmur,
right.
Wildflowers about Tom Petty.
I mean, even when like it didn't go very well for them, but like Kraft was doing their version, the small batch series, and I think that was supposed to be like a one-step sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's that. Well, here's the thing there, Shane. Listen, first of all, with this hobby, this is all we do. I like just want to, everything's a waste of money. Like, why pay bills?
Yeah, well, I've got this.
There you go. Well, here's the thing. I do have an original stereo or duophonic. I do have an original mono, but a couple different things here. Sam is a much bigger Beach Boys and Pet Sounds fan than I am. I love the album. I think it's fantastic, amazing. But I am not invest a whole bunch of money into, unless it is like whatever. The story is the original stereo version is kind of basically like not a boot, but like the idea is it's not like official in the sense of like that was never the plan, or never part of it. And the other reality is to find a clean, minty original mono, you're looking at probably one-step pricing anyway.
Because this album was a flop. Remember that back in the day, they had a rush release of greatest hits because they're like, this thing stinks. We need to really, oh brother, this guy stinks.
That's good.
So yeah, this like it was a flop. So yeah, an original. It'd be hard to find them now. I mean, that's the thing. People are more aware now with the record collecting world, even more so than 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah. 25 years ago, you might have been able to just find mono copies just hanging out in $5 racks or whatever. But now, and because of everything that's happened, everything from obviously Brian's passing semi recently to to we've talked about even like stuff like the documentary or the sort of, I guess, biopic of Love and Mercy. Like all those things play such a role in everybody and their brother.
And it's an anniversary. It's the 60th.
And it's the 60th. Yeah. I mean, truthfully, I probably told you this at some point. This mono that I have, I think I got out of like a $5 bin. It's probably in good plus condition on the media. But it's like one of those things of like, I think I was so new, like back when I was doing these record shows, I had like 2 more of these that were just like good plus mono copies that like people were like, is this seriously only $25? And I'm like, seriously.
Yeah. So Shane said he paid $3 for his copy. So.
Well, Shane, what else you only paying $3 for? Oh, wow. Well, look at that. You've been there, Sam.
I have. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I guess like we put it in perspective. Obviously your favorite album is a much newer album, like with the Dream Theater. I guess like to reverse it, like let's just say like all the things are the same except it's Dream Theater. Like where are you falling in the whole like collector mentality, favorite album mentality, different mastering, mentality.
Yeah, I mean, well, gosh, so apples to oranges, right? Like it's just, such a different sort of thing. But for me, it's like not so much. I have no interest. The album came out. My favorite album came out in 1999. You know what I mean? Like it's not it does not have the story. It doesn't have the relic, the artifact. You know what I mean? There's nothing like that on there. So listen. Isaiah, my man, what's happening, man? Isaiah's the one who took that coal mine 7-inch off my hand, Sam.
What about the record?
Ah!
That's why you're here, folks.
That's right. So there's not the history. Now, so I have my copy of it, which is, I guess, what you would call an original pressing in the sense that it was the first time it was pressed to vinyl 15 years later. In fact, I think it was Music on Vinyl who did it, because Music on Vinyl, I actually think they do a really great job, but they do a lot of like these like 90s, 2000s metal acts that nobody was touching for a long time. So in one sense, I'm good with my lone copy. Rhino did all these reissues of them. I had no interest. in getting another copy of it. No interest at all. But I do have like the live record that they released. I don't know. I guess it was 2019 because they were probably celebrating the 20th, where they performed it in its entirety.
Yeah.
I got the live record because I'm like, it's my favorite album of all time. I want the, you know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
But in that case, now, if I look back at like my favorite, like, I'm trying to think of any, probably the only time that this would like come through of like wanting multiple copies like that, is if there was some kind of like art thing, like, you know, like various covers or like In Through the Outdoor by Zeppelin or something like that. That's not a favorite album, but just saying.
Yeah.
And other than that, 99% of the time, I don't have any interest in collecting multiple copies of things. Just give me the one I want, and I'll get rid of the other one. Again, this only exists because I was like, well, it's a really, really, really cheap mono, and it's just fun to have.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing again. And, you know, what they call this, you know, one step is they call it brown sound.
This is what I need to start. Sorry to interrupt you. We'll talk about the brown note here in a second. But this is what I really need to do. You know, for example, I took advantage of that Blue Note sale, like the 50% off shit. So like, you know, I picked up like, I don't know, God, maybe 5 or 6 classic series titles. They were like $15.
Yeah.
And they're all great. Like, it has nothing to do with the quality, but I'm also like, okay, you just, you know, just on those alone, you know, dropped what, $90, $85, $90. That's really cool that you added these 5 cool records. Would you have felt better spending $100 on a record that you've been after for 7 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that was me. I mean, even, you know, I'm like, I don't know what, even with like ordering new albums, for example, because I was, DSS. Like for example, you know, to use one of the other subtitles in the stream, McCartney announced an album today, obviously on all sorts of formats, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, there was a time, and I kind of made a joke with you and, you know, a couple other friends, I guess 2 years ago now. It was like, I need to stop buying CDs and vinyl of the same thing.
Yeah.
But there were some artists like, you know, my completist in me. So like my Bob Dylan, my Avett Brothers, blah, 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 like that kind of stuff. I'm going to get both because I've already got everything else. And so I'm like, well, I'm in it now. But if it's an artist like, you know, even McCartney, I don't have everything McCartney did. I'm not a McCartney completist. I'm not a Beatles completist necessarily in the sense of having every single, you know, boot and comp and all that crap. Mono sets.
I don't even know if it's open.
No, well,
I just bought it to flip it, and then it hasn't even gone up in price.
That's right. Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Kind of. Yeah. Go ahead.
So it's kind of like, you know, like where does the buck stop? Am I ordering? All that to say is there are still those grails that I'm after. Like Nick Drake's. I'm a big Nick Drake guy and want original analog copies of that, which I technically have analog copies of it, but
I mean, but that, I mean, not to say it's an exception, but like, you know, he is a, you know, you find original anythings of that, like those are artifacts, you know what I mean? Like that has that's a completely different kind of world.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim, we were talking about this earlier. I know you're a big kind of fan in this world, but the 2 variants, quote unquote, are just like what he did, his exclusive green that has like probably some kind of, I don't know if it had alternative artwork or not.
No, it's the same art, but there are a bunch of colors now that are all from like indie shops. Like Rough Trade has something.
Okay, so
Amazon
now
has one.
Yeah, okay, we're in that place now.
Like
Okay.
I think Matthew Street had a screenshot on his community post. There was probably about 7 of them of different colors. Like there's a pink one, a gold one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, I know you're up there in Canada, and you know that I can't imagine like the shipping, right? Or you just don't have like one of the things the States can do, right? Is like I could go to a local shop here and run into 3 of the in just one city, you could have 3 of the variants.
Yeah.
Because you could have an indie store exclusive, You could have an Amazon exclusive. You could have a standard black. You might have a Barnes and Noble exclusive. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's literally all these things. But Tim, do you care about having multiple copies of that? Like, is that
That was the whole thing with McCartney 3. It was like there was like 25 different variants.
Yeah.
And some people collected them all, but that's a whole nother topic. This Pet Sounds thing is different.
So my question is, and again, this is my fellow coal mine slob. I mean that in the most love in the world, Isaiah. You know that. So I have a fair amount of promos. None that were sent to me. I want to be very clear. These were all promos that I either bought off Discogs.
Lord knows we know.
Or Lord knows we know. Or I found in a local shop. In fact, a bunch of them I got off of Homer's in Omaha. Don't. But that's a good joke. So, but what I have found is, and I don't know if you've run into this, because Isaiah, you do a lot of different promos too. Like, if I go on Discogs, I can find promo versions of these Coal Mine records, which I've talked about this. They still do like the sticker. They still do a white label promo. They only send them to record stores. Like, they are actually like the only label that's still doing like the old school label thing. But it's like I'll be able to buy like a promo for like $15, something like that, $15-$20 usually. When then I also might have like the web store exclusive, which might be $40 or $50, and I'm like, which one do I want? Do I care? Like, like all those types of silly questions. So that's
Well, you have sold me generously a couple of like web store exclusive different coal mine things. Like I think one of the like the Gabbard Brothers record, you sold me for cheap. And I think one of the maybe the first Emross.
I think Emross and the first Okonski, I think.
Did I buy that from you? Yeah, I guess I did buy it from you.
Yeah, because those are two that I have promos of. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think at least 3 different coal mine things that you were the better man to be like, I've got both. I could keep both, but
she lies and says,
"Her man." No. Hey Jason. But no. I mean,
answer Shane really quick here.
I guess are you referring to, because I know that they had like the there were a couple that were about 10 years ago that I don't have, but I do have the Making of 5 Leaves Left that came out last year.
Well, you got the Fruit Tree,
and because I'm dumb, I have the vinyl and CD.
But do you have? I think I asked you this before. The only Nick Drake I think I only have Stank Moon.
That's right. You just got that last year.
That's right. Do you have individual vinyl like reissue copies of those other two?
Yeah, I've got the 3 from my 2011 that are like the mass produced copies.
We'll talk offline. Oh, you got the alternative. Yeah, I got the Coal Mine, or I guess Plaid Room exclusive of that.
Which does Parlor Greens come out tomorrow?
Parlor Greens gets released next Friday, but they sent out shipping early because you didn't order it, right?
Not yet.
That you didn't get the greens one. That's okay. But what's annoying, right? It just comes from Loveland, so it usually goes from Loveland to Cincinnati. It's usually here in 2 days. It was in the Columbus distribution center and then ended up in New York. I was like sick. You can talk about that. Basically, it's like it's not even a conspiracy. I think there's an intentional effort to just undermine USPS for certain reasons, as you know. Oh wow,
information. Yeah.
When you get information, file weed. Okay, Tim, you were suckered. Like you got like held at fucking like, he's like, oh, give me all your variants.
You got any grapes?
Oh, here's 11 or 12. It's all I got.
Yeah.
So, did you ever listen to that? What was it? McCartney 3 Imagined or Reimagined or whatever it was called?
No.
But that's the one that kept showing up everywhere for like $10 on like.
It was on Whatnot all the time.
All the time. I'd never actually listened to it, but I guess it's just everybody else doing their version of, songs
Of the
on
album. I mean, I think the best song on it, I think, was Beck, but I think there was like St. Vincent, maybe like Phoebe Bridgers, people like that were on it, like indie artists. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah. The when his site went live this morning, it was the green and black and then a CD.
Ooh. Okay, analog box set. That fruit tree is analog, isn't it?
Yeah, it was the last time it was pressed analog. So it was from like 84 or 5. But yeah, I bought that. I got real lucky on that on Discogs last year. It's already gone.
Discogs are like eBay because I remember.
Yeah, I bought it for 140. It's the 3 albums and then the Time of No Reply, like bonus cuts and demos and stuff, and then a really nice book in the box, and it's already like at 240. I mean, I'm never selling that. That was like that's as close to a grail for Nick Drake as I have.
Oh yeah. Ooh. This is tough. If there's one, well, God, I have a lot of answers because I think Hidden Gem is tough because they're not hidden, but it's just sometimes like the reality of it. Like Ironsides blow me away. They released an album several years ago now. Apparently their second album is done, but might not be on the release list until probably next year. To me, it's Ironsides and then Black Market Brass are like the two that stand out to me of like, I would love to get any additional anything for them. Yeah. Sam, you're like, I love M. Ross. I love Mr. Perkins. Yeah. Okay, so you are going to get the version. I mean, but you look, I know I love that record too. I was just I know we always talk about there's such like this like Van Halen versus Van Hagar thing. Like 5150 is like, to me, I don't think I actually showed you. Remember when I did that video several months ago about like commercial success with like artistic expression sort of thing? I don't know if I showed 5150, but I probably should have. Like that is like such a perfect summer, like, I hate this term, but like pop metal, where it's just like, oh, this is the most accessible hard rock we've ever heard.
Yeah. I know you're a big Hagar fan.
I am, man. I'd say that like that man for being 78 or 79, dude, he's crazy. I've seen him a couple times too. I'm sure Richard's seen him a bunch of times. I saw him with his Cabo Wabo band or the Wabaritas or whatever he calls them. Was
Bonham playing with him? I mean, that's Chickenfoot, but I know
no. Well,
Anthony was Michael Anthony.
Chad Smith is his Chickenfoot guy. I'm sure Bonham played probably with him at some point. I forget who was on drums for him, but like I saw him when I was in high school. This is like probably 2005, 2006 at the old Tower City Amphitheater for any Ohio people out there. And like he was like one of these like live artists where like, this guy is fucking crazy, like in the best way. Like he had a full like bar like set up on his stage. Like it was part of
Halo. Yeah.
Right. And exactly. And like, I remember too, we were all, cause we were like 15, 16, we were all waiting out by the tour buses. I remember his bassist came out. He never came out. He just went right to the bus or whatever, but they just came like walking out as like from props from the stage show with probably, I don't know, 15 empty bottles of Cabo Wabo tequila. And like the whole stage show was just like, it was just a tequila party. Like he would have a person literally on the tour being the bartender.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a complete hoot. And Richard, you'll love this, I'm sure.
Circle, that's who it is. With Bono.
The Circle, yeah.
Yeah.
Latter career masterpiece to me is the song Mas Tequila, because he like opens with this. I mean, this song came out in like the early 2000s, I think. I don't know. But it's an absolute corker, like just absolute corker of like a latter career like hard rock masterpiece for me. Talk about like just that was like just all my high school friends were into OAR. Sam, do you know what OAR stands for?
No, but you know all about AOR.
That's pretty good. You would have failed Jeopardy. OAR, the band, stands for Of a Revolution.
Oh.
I remember when that crazy game of poker song came out in like the early 2000s. People were, it's a crazy game of poker. We're gonna get Shane over here all upset about it. Tim out here shouting expletives. All right,
That's funny.
ooh, actually, Sam, add that. Similar, Sam, to how you obviously really dig Andy Gabbard, right? Coal Mine has, or like Emross too. Like in their Karma Chief Coal Mine world, they have like this subset of like these just brilliant indie like singer songwriters, and Ben Pirani is one of them.
Yeah, I don't know his
So
name at
is
all.
Reverend Barron's fantastic too. But yeah,
Ben Pirani.
yeah, and truthfully, I don't even know if he's still like on the label formally, but like his record or whatever he put out before was fucking great.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? All three of us, Tim, Sam and I are both seeing them different places in May, right? You're going to May. Yeah, they're always in
Yeah.
May.
I'm seeing whatever weekend the new album comes out. I'm seeing them like the day or two after in DC at the 930 Club. So yeah, it'll be my second time seeing them. I know you've seen them several times, but you're an OG fan and you like to make that known.
I do like to make that known. But you know what? Yeah, I'm going to blow your little mind right now. You know who put them on my radar?
Was it Joe the Plumber?
I mean, who's my favorite guy of all time that I always be yapping about?
Mr. Portnoy?
Mike Portnoy. That's
Wow.
right. He is a huge like power pop, like deep into like he was also the turned me on to like Sloan. Like he just is in the weeds with like a lot of this more like underground quote unquote like power pop stuff.
Yeah.
So he was like yapping about them during like the Monkey record.
Their collab with Mickey Dolenz about that.
That one. Yeah. Pisces Iscaro. That is a Smashing Pumpkins joke. All right. Yeah. So that should be a good time for sure. But yeah, he's into all this like underground power pop stuff. And so I've been like, since the early days, he's like, plus he's from Long Island. And so there's like this Long Island connection, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Marsha P. Wow.
Oh my God. A blast from the proverbial future. Okay. See, Marsha P., you disappear and then you come back into our lives and make like the most like Summer Nights. Not only is Summer Nights an all-time top 5 Van Halen jam, Summer Nights is like a top 25 song of all time for me. Like even Sam likes that song.
I loved it with Olivia Newton-John. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good joke. Man, what a bop. I love that song to death. That is just such a good.
I do enjoy some VH.
Yeah. Man, I love Summer Nights. Well,
yeah, Richard's a DC guy for a few years, so yeah, he's been in the 930 Club.
Oh, I forgot that he spent time in DC. I always, I guess, just assumed he went from like he was in like North Dakota and then was in Colorado.
That's where the heavy hitters reside.
That's right. So, Richard, what are you looking at? Sir, Richard, what are you looking at in terms of that box set? Because I'm just curious because where you're falling with that. Also, I have to use the little boys' room. Sam, go ahead and take it away, will you?
I could. Make sure to put that on mute because I know where that bathroom is.
You see that door?
Shoulder. Shut that door.
It's just number 1. Okay.
Well, Okay. Yikes. He's had 32 ounces, and then he drank on camera. Yeah. No, I'm excited for the 930 Club. I did not realize until after purchasing the tickets how big of a club it was. Yeah, because those of you that watch my channel know, I mean, I just saw Margot Price probably about a month and a half ago in a venue that holds maybe 700 people. And to see the 930 Club with 1,000 or more seats, I was like, wow, that's pretty big. And I feel like there are some bigger names recently announced there. I was surprised. Let's see, who was it? It was, oh gosh, old 97s are going to be there. 49 Winchester. Glenn Hansard. No, there was somebody really big that I was really surprised. St. Paul and the Broken Bones. Who else was there? It was somebody big. Lemon Twigs, obviously. Iron and Wine.
Did you get an Iron and Wine?
I never got into them.
You're good.
Lucinda Williams is going to be there. I'm just going through the 930 Club has some names that I'm like surprised that they pull, but there was somebody really big. Anyway, I'll find it. Eagles of Death Metal. Let's hope there's nothing bad there. That's a bad joke.
Yeah,
that's a real bad joke. Sorry.
Oh man, see, this is Daptone really was kind of like the original coal mine. Like, okay, you have Olympians, they're on Daptone.
Yeah.
But like that whole sound.
Yeah. Well, Sharon Jones, right? Wasn't she?
Right. Exactly. Which I didn't know. I don't know if you read this comment that the Dap Kings, her like backing band, were the band for Amy Winehouse's Back to Black.
Yes. Somebody said, like, was that on your video?
Yeah, Scott said that. He left a comment on that on my video.
Well, see, I didn't realize a couple of the Dap Kings play with the Roots.
Okay.
Jimmy Fallon. So I think like the one white guy in the Roots right now is one of the Dap Kings. Like the horn section, a lot of them are from the Dap Kings of the Roots.
That's pretty dope. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. You see those old videos, like, oh, those are the guys from the Roots.
Well, God, and think about too of like, so like Charles Bradley, like essentially like Back from the Dead, and then you think about like how incredibly successful his cover of Sabbath's Changes was for Big Mouth.
Yeah.
Like he's just like all that stuff is just kind of crazy.
No, I could definitely, because after listening to that Olympians, and I think you kind of said it in your video recently, it is kind of a subdued, like a more subdued coal mine sound, but it definitely has like the whole like Leroy Conroy instrumental cinematic kind of thing. And I'm like, but I didn't realize it was only like their second record, and obviously there was like the 11-year hiatus or whatever it was,
right?
Because I'd never heard of them, and I know that when that first was announced, in our group text, we were kind of like talking about it back and forth, and I think Jason and I bought it first, and then you're like, well, guys, I bought it too. You're like, I'm not gonna buy it, but then we're like, it's pretty good.
Yeah, because we were always talking about like how whenever Coal Mine sends out an email, we like goop ourselves really quick.
Did you get a promo yet?
Right.
Don't you know Terry?
It's like, I've made I don't want to say it's a mistake, but like, you click too quick and you don't actually read it. And
it's a color variant.
I'm a completist when it comes to ordering Coal Mine LPs. So anything that's on Coal Mine, Karma Chief, Remind, I buy, but I'm not to a point yet of being a Coal Mine completist on all of their exclusive pressings they do from other labels, because there's just there's no end in sight for that. I mean,
and you're not a 45 guy. So you're not going to.
And I'm not a 45 guy, and I can't afford. I mean, it's like now you're talking 3 records a month, probably. And so when that was released, I was like, ooh, okay, like Olympians. I'm not sure if I know them. I know they're on Daptone. I'll hold off on it. And then I think you guys were talking about it, and then I went back and like listened to that first record, and I was like, oh, this shit's good. This stuff's really good. Yeah.
It's an unfortunate thing. Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
I think it might have actually been the Roots that I saw were playing at the 930 Club, because they still tour pretty extensively, even with the Fallon gig.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the whole like Pet Sounds thing, and obviously people are losing their mind over the McCartney thing, and I know all the Beatles channels have done their thing about it. Is this something that you are interested in? Like, did you get McCartney 3? I can't remember.
I do have McCartney 3, I think.
I feel like everything you have is on that one little cube. I mentioned something.
This is just Beatles ends here, and then it's Beatles solo. So yes, I organized Beatles solo directly after, which truthfully, well, we can get into the dynamics of that. But I've noticed a lot of record stores do that, and so I probably just took note of that. Hold on, let me stand up here.
Stand up and be counted.
That's good.
What you are about to receive. I do like some AC/DC. Oh, sorry, it should be the last one. There you go.
So I do have it. I think, God, because these were there's a lot of those like high in demand ones we were talking about before from Jack White's label or whatever. But like, you know, this is your standard black, and you can tell I haven't listened to this in a long time because I don't store my records like this anymore. And it's in one of those cheapy Canadian YouTuber sleeves.
Let's hear it. Let's get a close.
Dude, that's like literally how. Sam, you ready for this?
That's beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. You know the diaper. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. I mean, look, and you probably, I mean, you're a much bigger McCartney fan, Beatles fans. For those who don't know, Sam came up to Columbus. We saw McCartney back in November. It was fantastic. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. You know that. And again, like, to what extent does I hate this picture, by the way. Like, this man be out here looking like he's trying to be like Kevin Costner and dances with.
Well, what's funny is if you pan back, he's sitting on a horse on that photo, which is worse.
Oh, I just
Kevin Costner.
You know what I'm talking about. You know, he's out there. But
dancing with them wolves. Yeah.
You know, and this truthfully, it's like records like this, and I don't want to just make it be like latter career stuff. We've actually talked a lot about, I'm just gonna say it, how just like overwhelmingly kind of mediocre we find most solo Beatle output. There's obviously some classics in there, but like, I don't know if I need Pipes of Fucking Peace taking up real estate anymore.
The Pipes of Peace makes you angry.
And I don't know to the extent that I need McCartney 3 or fucking Bugaboo Avenue or whatever this new record's called. Like I just or what is it called? Like Sloppy and Down on Fifth or what? I forget.
That's the one. Clip it.
Clip it.
Oh man, Sloppy and Down on Fifth. That's the record. Yep.
That's so it's like Dungeons and it's like Dungeons in the Butt or whatever. I don't
know. Yep. That's the one.
That's the one.
No, and I like the new song a lot. I know I saw some streams were on earlier today, and people were talking about it. I think our boy Mazzy said he likes it better than anything on McCartney 3, the song. So, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, a lot of it comes with like the hype of like, we haven't had a McCartney song in over 5 years. So it's going to be exciting because we've listened to the other stuff a million times over the last 60 years. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I can see that is a good song. And like, he's using his vocal range within its strength. So did you listen to the new song?
I actually didn't yet. It's like a little more like kind of acoustic ballady, yeah.
Yeah. It's the classic McCartney finger picking, and some people are kind of speculating that he's playing everything on that song, but it's you know it's a sweet song about, you know, Ringo having the sickness and Jimmy Nicol coming in there and taking the spot.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I do remember this. The only thing I do remember about this record, though, is I remember Long-Tailed Winter Bird. I was like, oh, this is kind of funky.
Yeah.
And that was about the only thing I remember from it. So
That's the like the first track, isn't it?
first track.
Yeah, it's kind of like the jam. He's like, do ya, do ya.
That's right. Yeah. That's the line. And like, I want to be clear. Like, I don't dislike it. I'm not saying it sucks or like all those different things. I know, and a lot of people are huge Beatles people, and therefore by association, Beatles solo people. I'm just not. I do not know to the extent that I'm going to enjoy those things now, or that they're worth the real estate. That's the big thing. It helps that we saw him in November. I think it's, awesome of like, it wasn't like on that tour, but kind of whatever. And so
yeah,
there is that element, but yeah, we were talking about that gosh, there's,
I think at least like probably 7 or 8 right now.
yeah.
But I mean, with the last one, with like a lot, we'll probably, I guarantee you, to milk this thing, I bet you like next Christmas there'll be a deluxe version with like 7 or 8 new songs and an alternate cover and all that stuff.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, so he actually, and what's funny is I actually listened to "Slip Me a Diamond," whatever you call it, this morning, and McCartney plays bass. I don't know, plays bass on one of the songs. But apparently he was the one that connected the Stones with Andrew, because the Stones are notorious for not being gung-ho in the studio.
Right.
And McCartney was like, hey, y'all are acting ridiculous. Charlie Watts just died. They'd already been recording a little bit. Then Mick kind of gave up. And McCartney was like, I'm working with Andrew. Y'all should meet up with him. So some of these songs, I think, date back like 3 years when McCartney was working on this stuff.
So that was going to be my question. I know he's kind of said that this is well, I wouldn't call it obviously a concept album, but there certainly seems to be a poetic theme with it of the inspiration for the songs and all that stuff. Yeah. But they're all new songs, right? Like they're all things that he's just written over the last several years. Yeah.
Yeah. Because at first I read the description. I was like, oh gosh, is this going to be like unreleased stuff from like the last 10 years? And I was really afraid of that. Yeah. But it sounds like it's just like the way it was worded. It was like their old ideas with new songs. So
yeah.
Yeah, some people dislike Andrew. I know somebody mentioned that he did the Elton John and the Belinda Carlisle record that came out like 2 years ago. It was not Belinda Carlisle.
It was not right. It was, sometimes I mean I like that too,
I would too, but yeah, he's done a few things. The funny thing, and I know this might actually this will probably excite you more than McCartney or the Beach Boys, sir. There's the Mountain Dew we were thinking about earlier. Did you see your boy Song Blue is coming out with it's a new album of songs from the Rick Rubin sessions?
Is this
There's a lot there.
Is this a Neil Diamond joke?
It's not a joke, but yes, it's about Neil Diamond.
So truthfully, I think I've told you this. Like, I grew up on a greatest hits compilation cassette tape that my grandmother had in her car when I was growing up. I mean, we're talking ages 0 to when she passed when I was 14. I know those songs front to back, but like besides that, like classic sort of like era of those tunes, he worked with fucking the Rubinmeister.
He did, yeah. He had some Reuben sandwiches at Shangri-La.
Dude, that is my like go-to bar sandwich these days, man. If they got a Reuben, I'm in. But the problem is, I'm starting to lose some faith. Is like the Reuben is great. I'm finding flaws with everybody who's trying to make one.
What kind of flaws? The cabbage?
Never enough sauce. First of all, it's sauerkraut, not cabbage.
Okay.
Who's rubbing your rubes?
I do like a pastrami.
Anyway, when did Neil Diamond work with Rick Rubin?
It was shortly after Johnny Cash started. It was kind of like, hey, I'm going to do this too.
He's like, oh, I'm trying to be relevant again. He's like, all right.
Right, yeah. Give me some 9 Inch Nails songs. No, I think he did 3, like 2004 through like 08 or so. And I'm not a Neil Diamond fan. But actually, our buddy Adam from What the Gym, he actually sent me one a couple of years ago, and I listened to it and I was like, oh, I can listen to this. I mean, and it's like the classic Rick Rubin lineup of people playing on it. Like you've got, Benmont, Stench, and you've got you know
Yeah.
I can't even get it out. But anyway, it's that same group of people that like were playing with Johnny Cash.
Wow, I had no idea that was part of it. Yeah, I mean, it is wild. I mean, like all those songs, whether it's Song Sung Blue or Brother Loves Traveling, Salvation Show, and just like all that stuff was just absolute corkers. And I still have the only Neil Diamond record I have, and the only one I need is that hot August night, man. That is
that the cover where he's got his hand?
yeah, that's the one where he's like,
oh gosh, don't get us cut off here. We've done that once on a stream.
Oh yeah, dude, he's real hot. And so, but it's just a rock and roll record, man, and the set's out of control. And it just, misunderstood. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the last waltz helped him.
Oh,
he was over there.
Your eyes.
With this like stupid I mean, God, just like,
after you got Dr. John out there ripping it, if I don't do it, somebody else will. Like Rolf the dog out there.
Oh my God, he could have used a lot of help for sure.
That was 100% Robbie Robertson saying like, "Hey, I just produced this record. Come on out here."
Yeah. Dry your eyes. Yeah, it's just
I'm sure the crowd was looking at their watches like, man, who is this lady?
Right. Well, it's like it kind of sucks because like he did have like some kind of like some corkers that like would have God, if he would have done like Brother Loves Traveling, the Salvation Show, that would have worked so well with that band and the whole arrangement and everything. But instead,
you have freaking Alan Toussaint behind you.
Right. Instead, he's out there trying to be like dollar store Paul Anka,
Is this okay? And now the end is near. Speaking of, we have a Tone Poet coming out tomorrow.
You getting it tomorrow? Is it arriving, or did you do the thing where you pre-order it from the label and it's not going to get there for 7 days after release date?
I feel like I ordered it through UDiscover to get those points.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, because they're like, oh, congratulations. You spent $700 with us. Here's $7 off your next purchase.
Right, yeah.
Over $100.
That's right. I haven't seen any kind of tracking. I know I saw Christian from Front to Back Vinyl. He got his today. So I don't know what he did differently. But yeah, hopefully it's in good shape. I feel like I ordered that thing a year ago.
Yeah. Because you're a big Sinatra guy, yeah?
Big enough.
Right.
Yeah.
I was watching your boy Mike over the In Groove doing his Thursday video and talking about how like the first Tone Poet that came out, the one that like the blue one,
and then Wee Small Hours, yeah.
Yes, that's it. Was like the breakup record, but then like this one that's coming out was like it's like more of like the happy like bumping.
Yeah,
record.
it's like a blue and an orange cover. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. And this is pretty much. This plays like a greatest hits, whereas Wee Small Hours. People have to describe it as like that's your cocktail record.
Yeah,
that's like it's rainy on a Saturday night. Lights are off. That's right.
I think I'm under a severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, to be honest with you,
it sounds like more reason to drink the ultras.
That's what I'm trying to say. Because like, where am I going to go? I'm on a third floor apartment. Like, I'm in the most internal room,
and you don't really work anymore. Yeah.
I ain't got a job in the world,
That's right.
Yeah. Cat's gone cold. All right. And it's out there thundering and stuff. So there's that.
Well, you like to watch your radars.
I know. All right. Well, we talked Beach Boys. We talked McCartney. Anything else on your little, you got like a little pile over there? Just some things that you've been tickling recently? Like, what does that look like? Anything like that? Just anything you got to talk about, man?
I got nothing near me. I'm working. I've reached out to a couple of people for interviews. And I have one person who I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to. He said yes. It's just going to be coming down with something. But he is in the record industry. He's not an artist. So we'll see about that. But no, I mean, I've kind of been doing, I think the way that you go about listening to music while you're at home, because, we've got all these records. I've just been doing the whole, Discog shake.
That's all I do.
And yeah, pulled out. I mean, what's funny is like some of the records that it picked are like ones that like are standards in my rotation. So I was kind of, meh. But no, I mean, I'm kind of like, it's kind of that weird point right now where, I listen to stuff seasonally a lot of times, and I'm like, do I start listening to this warm weather stuff, or am I still, kind of listening to, like Bill Evans and, that kind of stuff. Like today I listened to the Bill Evans and Tony Bennett record, which I love that album. Yeah, I love that album, which I'm pretty sure you told me about that record when it went on sale a couple years ago. But yeah, listen to that. I mean, I listened to Arcade Fire today. My boy Ross, who you met at my wedding, he sent me a CD because he was like, "You need to listen to this," and it was their album, The Suburbs.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought,
yeah. And I know I put it on my story, and Jason like commented. He was like, Montreal's finest, or whatever. Like I always forget that they're from Canada.
I mean, they were like the perfect like indie band for like the longest time, and I don't know. Jason's mentioned it. Like, I think their singer might be running into some like domestic violence concerns or something, which is always a great time. But and so I think people are questioning their loyalties. But
yeah,
I remember having because there's like Suburbs, and then like what was it, like Bible something, and then Reflector. Like they had a strain of records that were, I'm like, these are all just really just, this was good music, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was like a concept record too. I mean, I didn't really dig into the concept of it. But I also listened to, I mean, you commented on it, the Coldplay Everyday Life, which is a very interesting record for them. It's got like the world's music. Do you remember watching like during COVID where they played it like in its entirety?
No.
It was live like on YouTube. They played it like in Jordan or somewhere. And because like the record is split up as like sunrise and sunset, they're trying to be artsy. It's like they were literally performing it at sunrise and sunset, the whole thing with like all these local musicians. And it's a very interesting, it's kind of like their Paul Simon record because it's very world music and all that stuff.
You hear it here first, people. That Coldplay record is basically Graceland.
That's right. They're fighting apartheid in 2019.
Like, of course, it's by Graceland. They're referring to like Elvis's burial, but like, just not. Yeah.
No. But no. The big thing they just announced this week, and I know. Well, you bought tickets right to see Bob Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Is that April?
April 9th or something, I think.
Oh, so that's like
a week. Shit, yeah.
But he's coming to Wolf Trap in DC, and he has Jimmy Vaughn with him. And apparently, like the tour like poster was showing like other special guests to be announced. Like I don't know, you can never put Bob in a corner. So who knows? And I think those tickets go on sale tomorrow. I'm going to try to get. He's playing for 2 nights. I think I'm going to try to get the Saturday show, because I haven't seen him in. It'll be about 3 years, which for me is a lifetime. But are you slapping anything on the turntable that's of note?
Well, I'll do videos on these all later, but these were just some like recent. So
you've got What's on Tap soon.
Well, yeah, there's a What's on Tap that's posting, I think I don't know if I'll do it tomorrow or Saturday, but I am on like a big, honestly, I'm just been buying a shit ton of jazz recently, which I know is not everybody's thing, but my current kind of obsession is Woody Shaw. I don't know if you have anything with Woody Shaw on there, but kind of a ladder, more post bop. So like I think like the first record he was on, like he's not one of these old heads. Like he was something where I think his debut solo record came out in 71. So like later, but just fantastic. I picked this up at a local semi recently, a little promo copy.
Perfect for my black and white tag.
That's right. Let's go back and redo it. This is from 78, but it's a live record and doesn't sound like 78. Like there's nothing that would give it away to be like, eh. I popped this or showed this the other day. This is the Records. This is an English kind of power pop band. They had a big hit with Starry Night. That is a perfect, like outstanding power pop tune if you're not familiar. The rest of the album's pretty good too. Really cool band. Plays into that. This is stupid, but we're going to show these because they were like really super cheap and or basically free. But I picked up a couple of, speaking of completists, stupid things to show, a couple of Def Leppard things. This is a UK release of a 12-inch of Too Late for Love, with side 2 being Foolin' and High and Dry Saturday Night. So
wow,
it came out in 80, I mean, probably like 83, 84, because Pyromania came out in 83, and so Too Late for Love and Foolin' were both off of Pyromania, but then High and Dry Saturday Night was off of High and Dry, their earlier record. So it's kind of like a 12-inch EP. I don't know what you would want to call it. That doesn't make any sense. But then I also picked this up. I was kind of texting you about that Tom Petty 7-inch, the picture sleeve. They're kind of cool, and especially if they have a story behind them. Like that's kind of where I'm at. Is like I'm not going to start buying 45s unless there's a story there.
Yeah.
And for this one, I had actually been looking for this again, a Def Leppard 45.
Okay.
Which is Bringing on the Heartbreak remix with side 2, Me and My Wine. Now, Me and My Wine never showed up on any of their studio releases.
Okay.
But the only way you can get Me and My Wine is by like one of the box sets or by some of the 7-inches because it was a B-side.
Yeah.
But again, interesting. I mean, Bring On the Heartbreak was a huge single from 81. And then they did a remix with like a brand new music video because Phil Collins was in the band in like 83. And so it's like kind of stupid because what you see here is Joe and Phil was not even in the band during the recording originally of that song. So I don't really know, but it's cool. It's, it's like, and again, the picture sleeves are just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's me. I mean, I can count I've probably got 30 max singles and over half of them are picture sleeves. And they're songs that like you can't get, or like, like the record store day, like Bob Dylan thing, or, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's the stuff that I want.
Oh yeah. You got to get like the dub remix of, Senior.
And
You know what, Sam? I think I'm about to call it. You know why? Because I got some leftover pizza.
From where?
We don't need to talk about it. I'll tell you offline. I'm not going to publicize that.
That's right.
People are going to know. And anyway, any parting words for the people out there?
No, I mean this was a lot of fun. It's good to have one of these streams because they're hilarious and I miss it. And it was a good time. And I will keep the viewers posted, or as some people might say, fans, I'll keep you posted about what I put my money toward with the pet sounds. Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks everybody out there for commenting, watching, liking the super chats that didn't happen. Yeah. And serves you right, sitting through like a 10-second ad. Just kidding. Totally kidding. Anyway, drink beer, listen to records. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. Bye now. Did I hit the right button? Probably not.